Hey everyone! I got a request to do a video about what it was like growing up with bipolar, and I thought that was a pretty interesting topic, so here I am. To start off with, I started manifesting signs of bipolar at a very young age. I was in junior high. I think I was 12 years old, and that was the first time I ever recall being really depressed. And it was a really hard time for me because, you know, not only is adolescence hard for anyone because you're going through so many changes and everything, but I didn't really have much support, and I think it's because nobody really knew about what was going on with me. And, you know, not only was I dealing with the normal things that every adolescent goes through, but I was dealing with all this emotional turmoil like inside myself that I didn't know how to cope with, and I didn't really have anywhere to go because I was not close to my mom, and I did not tell her about anything that was going on. I think, you know, she didn't understand what I was going through, obviously, but I didn't talk about it to her because, you know, I felt that she wouldn't understand. And my dad, he was more emotionally supportive of me than my mom, but he was out of town. He worked out of town a lot, and so he wasn't around a lot, you know, to give that support. And even, you know, if he had been, I probably wouldn't have talked to him about it either. It was just something that I was dealing with on my own, and, you know, I didn't know what was going on with me. All I knew was that I felt really bad all the time. And that was about 7th, 8th grade. In 8th grade, I was on homeschooling because I was so bad, you know, my depression and anxiety was so bad that I could not function, and I could not get up and face every day and go to school and deal with people and deal with the things that I needed to do. That's how bad it was. So my parents put me on homeschooling, and I stayed home for 8th grade. And after that, I came out of that episode and I was better for a while. And then I went into high school in 9th grade, and I went back to public school. And I was all excited, you know, to re-enter the world, kind of, and, you know, have interaction with people again, because for a whole year I didn't really have any interaction with anyone besides my family. And so that was good for me to go back to public school and to get out and to have that interaction with people. And high school, it was good and bad. It was good because I had a close group of friends that I did confide things in, and I felt a lot more of that emotional support that I needed that I wasn't getting at home. And so in that sense, it was good because I felt that there were people that I could talk to about the way that I was feeling, and I wouldn't be judged or, you know, anything like that. And so that was a good thing, but the bad thing was I was still having all of these episodes, and mainly depressed episodes. I know I had manic episodes too. I don't really remember them because I didn't recognize what they were at the time, but I know that I had them because I kept a journal and I would write about it. So I know from looking back now in retrospect that I did experience those ups as well as the downs, but the downs are what really stick out in my mind because they were the hardest to deal with. And so yeah, that was hard trying to deal with it, because even when you have a support system, they can only do so much. They can listen to you and they can try to help you, excuse me, but you're the one dealing with it. You're the one going through it, experiencing it, and no one else can, you know, take that from you and ease your pain, really. So that was really hard on me when I was in high school. And when I was about, I think, 15, I started cutting. And I cut off and on till I was probably about 19, and that's the way that I dealt with my depression and anxiety, which of course is not healthy. But that was all that I knew to do, and so that's what I did. And I lived in a home that was very kind of what I would consider dysfunctional. My parents fought a lot all the time. They did not get along. They're divorced now, but they didn't get divorced till I was in my 20s. But yeah, it was not a good home environment. And again, I wasn't close to my mom. I didn't feel that I could talk to her about things. And I think I would talk to my dad every now and then about things, but not for the most part. I just kind of kept all this depression and, negative feelings inside. So that was really a difficult thing to do when you're trying to, find out who you are as a person. I mean, it's a really important time in life to figure those kinds of things out. And it was really confusing for me because I kind of didn't know who I was, because I would be up and I would be down and I would be up and I would be down, and I didn't know, who I was. And so obviously the bipolar has continued into my adult life and all through my 20s, and now I'm 29 now, and I was diagnosed a year ago. So I'm still dealing with all of those things, but in a way, a lot of the things I experienced when I was younger shaped me, as they do with everyone. You're at a very malleable state when you're young, in those probably like 12 to 18 year, age. What you experience shapes you and molds the person that you become and wind up being later on in life, and the way that you look at the world. So in a way, a lot of the experiences that I had did change me in a way that other people, would not understand. But I guess that's just the way it goes, So that's just kind of my experience in a nutshell. If you want to share your experience, comment below or send me a message.